Hey, family, peace and blessings. We are in North Carolina, and I am basically waiting for the young ladies to come down out the hotel. Um, yeah, they're getting dressed, and we've had a good breakfast. We are in South Carolina at the Hyatt House, and I love this Hyatt Place. Hyatt Place, and I love the Hyatt Place. It's classy, it's clean, it's nice, it feels like you're at home. And so I'm waiting for them to come down. So, family, this is like my 10th year doing this quality of life road trip. And I just want to come to y'all this morning and give you a little bit of history to how I started doing this road trip so you can understand the mission of it. And one of the things that, you know, I'm, I'm a thinker, so I'll be thinking about a lot of stuff. But um, one of the things that sometimes disturbs me is that sometimes you'll see a lot of people, activists or whatever we call them, talk about things in the Black community that that we think are wrong, or whether it's police brutality or whatever it is. But when it comes to things that's in our control, sometimes you'll hear a lot of crickets. You know what I mean? Like, we're really big at pointing the finger at other people. Some of us are, but we're not really big at controlling our own destiny. You know what I mean? And so, what do I mean when I say that? I mean that I am on this road trip with young women. I raise all the money for this road trip because I believe young people, Black girls, are worth investing in. They are the universe to Black people. Like, you cannot even get here if you don't come through one. So last year was the shutdown, which was fine. So I could not do the road trip. So this year I decided to do it in pieces. So this is the first group. I'm going to do four groups. The first group, we're doing our first one May. We'll do another week in June, another week in July, another week in August. And each of these groups will have different girls on it, exposing them to different parts of African American history. Now, normally I would do it when we travel throughout the whole US and Canada, but because of COVID, we're not doing it that way. We're flying into regions, and we're going to be doing regions. Like, I'm going to do this region one more time for the next group. So, next one in June, we're going to do this region again. And then we're going to do the southern region. We're going to do Louisiana and Texas and some of the southern region there. And then the last road trip in August, we're going to go straight down the coastline of California, maybe the West Coast. We may just come on down that West Coast. Because I think we have to, I know we have to invest in and support Black girls and their development. Because if we do not, it really speaks to how we really, really feel about Black girls and women and our development in our nation. You cannot save products without going to the actual maker of the products. That's where you start to save people from, is from those places. Um, I'm going to share with you the first group that I took on this road trip like 11 years ago. Longer than that, yeah, like 11 years ago. The first group that I took, hold on, it's not that one. Sorry, family. I'm trying to get this right. Not that one. Let me stop the share. Wrong one. Okay, hold on. Sorry, y'all. It's me today. So the first group, so let me just back up. The idea of the road trip came from when I went to Israel. I went to Cuba for the first time when I was 27 years old. And when I was in Israel, I met some Israeli kids who were backpacking across the world. And I met them in Cuba. And I thought to myself, wow, I can't afford to take a bunch of girls. These are pictures from the first road trip. I can't take a bunch of girls backpacking across the United States because I don't have money like that. But what I could do is take them across the United States, which is just as diverse. This is the first group that I took on a road trip in 2000, and I think it was 2010 or 2009. And I think it was 2010. And we hit that road and then went across the United States. And that is Eileen. Wow, we seen her yesterday. And she's still supporting the road trip. And just really, really grateful, man. And so I believe in, and these young ladies are doing great in the world. because I know that we really must. We be in Atlanta today. The next couple of days we'll be in and out of Atlanta. So that's when we'll be there. It's just important for us to support, black girls. Like they need our support. I don't want us just to support them when, somebody murders them or, if they, got to be a superstar or like we should be supporting them no matter where they are. Like no matter if they dressed up and looking exotic or beautiful, like we should be supporting them any chance we get because they are the future. So just want to come to you all. Like the road trip is going fantastic. Like I am so grateful to just be with these young people on their journey and listening to them. This was the first road trip. We just seen this artist yesterday. The lady who makes these, we was at her house yesterday. This is from the first road trip. She was a part of the first road trip, and she's still with us on this road trip. She's a famous sculptress. She's a doll artist, maker. But this is the first road trip. And yesterday we was in Baltimore. You know, this dear sister right here who came and talked to my girls, she's an ancestor now. You know, so this was that first road trip, which was so empowering. So, each year I do this road trip and I try to expose Black girls. Like, I want us to see our greatness. I want us to have more to work with on our journey because a lot of times we don't have a lot to work with. And we do. We definitely need all of your support. So, this is all the pictures from the first road trip. And then, of course, each year I continue to do a road trip. And each year I continue to fundraise for this road trip, which I'll keep doing it again and again and again. I mean, to me, it's really all about these are other road trips that we've taken. We've had road trips where young men, some men stood up and took young boys on the road trip as well. So I just think, family, it is super duper important for us to support our children on this road trip. Um, we really, that's so true. Thank you, Zenley. Hey, Yakiel. Hi, Israel. Australia. And so it's just important. Yesterday on the road trip, we visited with Queen Mother Paula, who I really just love. I'm going to share her pictures later, but it's just we went to that African American Smithsonian. We're like doing a lot of incredible stuff, but mainly what I'm trying to do, family, is to make sure our girls have more tools. Definitely more tools than they had when I started out as 18-year-old. I often wonder how my life would have been any different if I had had some of these experiences earlier on. And so this is our opportunity to, support, the Black nation, Black people. If we really, really want to support them and really are invested in outcomes, then we should be supporting them now. You know, you could do that with your donation. You could do that with, meeting the girls where we are. Like you could do that. I took them to visit my cousin, who I really just adore and then visiting um, my cousin talked about her journey and the beauty. And let me just say this: the beauty of them when they were talking to my cousin. This is my double cousin. She was really helping them to make the links of, like, her parents were homeowners, and she talked about her parents' struggle, to buying a house. They bought a house in Jersey, and this house in Jersey they brought them and it, they basically created a whole environment for them to thrive and to survive in. You see what I'm saying? And to live in. And now all of her siblings are all homeowners. And they've all been to college. And now their children are doing the same thing. Our kids have to be able to touch that reality to understand that it's doable. You know what I mean? If that's what they want to do. She talked about making plans and, sometimes along the way something may not go as planned, but you fit that right on into your life's plan. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it's important for them to have these experiences. It's important for them to understand history and their place in history, like like in the now. So man, this is just Oh, thank you, sis. I just feel like we gotta do this. If I leave here tomorrow, God forbid, I would hope that I would have left enough information that young black girls and women will feel like they have something that they can work with. Because when we went through that African American Smithsonian the other day, and I've been there like 4 times already, when I looked at our history as a people and our struggle, I felt like my ancestors had left me so much information that I am right on point with what I'm doing. I'm supposed to kick open the door and leave it wide open for the next generation. But don't just leave the door open. Give our young people something to work with as they go forward so they can remember that they too are a part of the continuum and they too must make sure the door is open for the next generation. And I feel like we have to do that by investing. This experience is more than a bunch of makeup. There's more than a bunch of hair weave. It's more than a bunch of having the latest designer shoes. It's more than enough looking like $1 million. It's more than, to be honest with you, your college degree. This is something that's going to help you to guide your life. So even if you do get that college degree, it will have some meaning. It's not just say, oh, this is a black kid with a degree. That really don't mean shit. If you're a black person with that degree and you have knowledge of self and love for self, that's something we can be proud of. It's what you do with the knowledge that you get. It's what you do with it. And that's what the investment is. That's why I'm driving and I'm still to take care of my health. You know, my kids don't even see me taking my medicine most of the time. They do see me coming after the long day of work and go to sleep because I'm tired. But other than that, I'm like, oh, you know, hey, you know. So it's just kind of like, like this is what it's about. I want our communities to look different, family. But we have to invest in a different kind of way. We can't keep it the way it's going now. Each generation is supposed to do better than the last generation. Each generation is supposed to look backwards in order to go forward. Sankofa family. Each generation is supposed to add something to the great continuum, which is life, which is us. But we cannot do that by asking people, if you look at the history who've been destroying us, to help us create us, to help us get out of this hole. That is up to us. That's the greatest lesson I think my ancestors have given me, that I'm not supposed to be asking other people who have oppressed me to help me. I'm supposed to do what my ancestors have done and make a way and keep the way open for someone else to find their way. I really think when I think that's why I don't have any birth children. Because I don't know if I could do this mission if I had children. I love that people have children because I love children. But I feel like I don't know if I could be this clear on my mission if I had a child. I don't know if my mission would be this clear, that I'm supposed to make sure young black girls are feeling empowered. Because to be honest with you, family, we will put everyone before our girls, even our sons who are girls now. We will put them before our girls. Let's just be honest. And then we act like it's okay, but you haven't met the need of what's going on with the girl. Like we don't allow our girls to be vulnerable, to be, we act, they're not mules of this earth. We are not mules. We're not the floor and men on the ceiling. We're not, that's not who we are. We're not lipstick and makeup. That's not all of who we are. We don't have to dress up. If a woman or a girl decides not to wear any makeup, any hair weave, or nothing, she is still a woman. And to me, that's what's about empowering that the it's about empowering the vessel that brings all life through. That's why I do this road trip. And I thank everyone who supported when I put the call out for support, the Cash App, or people who figure out a way to get some money to me. Because this year I had to pay for airfare, had to pay for car rentals, had to pay for hotel rooms, had to pay for food. Like family, come on. And we invest, we sometimes for one night hotel, we could be staying at the Hyatt place, which is really nice. It costs a little bit of money, but girls get to have breakfast and all that good stuff. That costs money. And we think about all the money we spend on literally bullshit that depreciates when you buy it and walk out the door, it loses value, right? This don't lose any value. The information that they're getting, They do not lose the value. This will live with them forever. And I'm cultivating in them that when somebody asks you to support a movement to help Black girls in particular, it should be no thought in your mind for you to say, here go $10, here go $20, here go $100, here go $500, whatever it takes. There should be no doubt in the person's mind that they must support because someone has supported their journey. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that's what I come from. When I was coming up, someone's always looked out for me. Somebody's always cared for me. Somebody's always made a way for me. People have taught me the ropes because I had my own challenges in education. People made a way for me to come through. That's why this is such a big part of my mission. Like before I leave this planet, I gotta keep blazing the trail. You know, I gotta keep doing it because we owe it to our ancestors to do it. All right, that's my lecture for today. I know on the East Coast, I mean on the West Coast, it's like 7 something in the morning. My babies is doing their final touches because they're excited because we're going into the ATL today. Then tomorrow we will be in Alabama at the Lynch Memorial before turning back to Atlanta for the last day, and then we fly out on Tuesday. And then next month, at the end of next month, I'll be doing this again with a whole other group of girls. The magical number is 4 because I can. 4 is a good magical number, but I'm asking you all, please support the road trip. I really, really need you to support the road trip. It costs about $8,000 to $10,000 each road trip um, because the cost of flying and getting us to places is it's a cost. But you know, in our community, the African American community is one of the richest communities. And I know people are like, what? But it's true. We are one of the richest communities. Yesterday, we had the absolute pleasure of meeting. And hold on, I got to show y'all this with a community elder that I love, or both of my community elders. I love them both. Hold on, y'all, I'm going to start this over so we can get the sound in here. But to have this elder take time um, out of her busy schedule, you know anything about artists, you know, their schedules are pretty busy, but to share with us. And now I want to share with you. There's something about when you get wisdom from an elder. You make sure I got the right one up, girl. Here we go. Get this sound right so y'all can hear what she got to say. Here we go. Back in the day, those days that you all know about, a lot of people had certain gifts that they were not even aware of. Today, I'm saying it was a gift, but at the time she didn't aware. This is just something that they did. So I'm representing her. Uh, these pieces usually people purchase them. I call these sacred spaces in terms of if you want to put something in your room in terms of or if you have a well, like you call it a sanctuary, but a healing space. And that's what this is about. Do you have a particular story with this one, all that white and? Well, the white again comes out of the healing movement, and for me personally, but when I'm usually talking to the children, I always go into a thing about like if you break something, you go to the hospital, we get a cast. That's what this begins with. So that's why it's the healing call for me. And then it can, and then they get it. They realize, God forbid, if you break an arm, the first thing you're in a cast. So that's what this comes. Once it's wrapped, I continue to work in. They have a heavy wrapping that looks exactly like the cast, and a lot of the work, and a lot of other artists, they use that to secure their work. Because if you know about a cast, you have to cut it, or so that's how strong it is. So that's where this begins. I love that. Did you know you wanted to be an artist, or did this just happen to you? No, this was a new birth for me. My background was fashion and merchandising, and after I lost my brother,
But then we could tell them right on down. Oh, yeah, yeah. I was totally devastated from the loss because he was like a father figure. So I met a young man. He didn't know me. I didn't know him. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and he looked at me, and I didn't know him. And he said, "You're in a lot of trouble, and if you want to stay on the planet, put your hands in some clay." And usually, at that time, I certainly wasn't obedient, but I knew I was in trouble. So I started doing things like, I guess, the size of a diamond, and it grew into this. So it became therapeutic. He said it will help you heal, and it's extremely therapeutic, and it was true. Oh, yeah.
Wow, beautiful.
So family, that's partly what you're supporting on the road trip is our kids getting exposure to great artists like Miss Paula. So family, I just want to say, always need your support on the road trip. Thank you to everyone that's been supporting the road trip, sending the cash apps in. And that's everyone, Brother Rashid, Brother Keon, Mama P, our Sister Kelly, Sister Janine. I mean, I could just go on and on. It's on my list that I just have to say thank you because none of this stuff could be without you all supporting us on this journey. Our ancestors are looking down, smiling because they know that we know how to take care of each other. So who we had? We had Sister Kelly, Sister Maureen, Sister Wilson, Sister Tia, Sister Jaretha out of Chicago, Sister Janine, Brother Keon, Brother Shees, Mama Patrice, Mama P, Sister Rashida, Anissa Wilson, Sister Lashaya, Sister Javon and her family were some of the first supporters of the road trip. So people are steadily trying. Sister Leona, Sister Sarah, like people have been sending us donations to help us make it through this trip. The last thing I want to share with you all as I wrap this up and get ready to roll on out of here to get ready to roll out of here to the ATL. And this is just a week long trip. And each week in the month for the next 3 months, I have two more groups to go. Um, we had young girls who wanted to see the Capitol. They were very excited to see the Capitol. Can you believe that? So you never know what young people really, what may inspire them, if you will. But it's our part to help them feel inspired. I just want to share this last bit with you all, if I can, real quick, because I think that it is so important for us to keep in mind. Maybe I can't get that. Maybe I'll do that tonight. Um, to keep in mind that all of these road trips is about empowerment. It's about helping Black girls to have the tools that they need to be viable citizens, to be great mothers, great sisters, great daughters, great human beings. Whatever it is that they choose to be, that they have the tools to do it. And on this road trip, they get to touch a country that their ancestors and themselves have contributed to and made great. That now that we must pour back into our girls because they really do need us. They don't need us to be a number. We should not see them when they just get in trouble. We should not see them when they need housing. We shouldn't just see them when they need something. We should be pouring into them so that they will not always need, that they can create what it is that they need and do it feeling good about themselves and feeling healthy and feeling intelligent, and feeling confident about who they are. We owe it to them, family. Good evening. Good morning.